M.A.S.K. Okay, so we got the rest of the order through. Not bad, eh? Paying for something and then eventually getting it in the mail. That's what it's like being a Z-list YouTuber like myself. So last time we looked at the Condor and the Thunderhawk. And I should set the record straight here. I had a few folks saying, oh, I was going to order these, but you said they were terrible, so I didn't get them. I did not say that these toys were terrible. They're finicky. They're annoying. You know, see, they feel a little cheap. They're way overpriced, and at times they're a test of patience. But I don't think they're terrible. Honestly, you knock a third off the price, I'd have no problems recommending these last two toys. They're fun, and they're goofy. And yeah, okay, they're not perfect, but what is besides Beast Wars Ultra Optimus Primal? We've got the big boys here, though, the heroic Rhino and the Venom Switchblade. Although, kinda, you know, this is the mobile defense unit and the high-tech helicopter. Like we said in the last video, these boxes, something just feels a little bit off. They feel a little bit blurry, they're much darker. Don't know if it's a printing issue, it's probably, but you add that to these very dull, perfunctory names, it really makes the thing feel more like a knockoff. I mean, I guess the names being different is a legal thing, like a trademark issue or something, but it heavily knocks off a bit of the prestige and excitement that you're getting to experience something official. Alright, let's get a look at the mobile defense unit first. I mean, from now on I'm going to be calling it the Rhino. Lawsuits be damned. Opening things up, we get the Rhino. Comes in its vehicle mode, like all, well, you know, we see the vehicle itself. Also a range of accessories and dollies. Let's have a look at those first. We've got a secondary matte tracker in this alternate jumpsuit. And Bruce Sato, who turned up in this beige and orange number. Both are pretty nice little fellas, limited articulation, but, you know, we don't need them to do much. The less the better, to be honest. I hadn't really seen the original 80s versions until recently, and while I do appreciate that sort of Terror of the Autons look, I think the new lads have got slightly more clarity and personality. Each has their mask. Again, folks kept saying, oh, they're helmets actually, they're not masks. Please, take a break from yourself. We get mats on here, and on you go, Bruce. I was told that I kept calling Brad Turner Bruce in the last mask video, so I suppose I'm just Sato daft. I do like Matt's mask having that shocked expression. That's kind of, oh! Of course he has his own sort of blast effect variant. He's got the old lemon curd coming out there again, but this time it's a little flashier. Bruce has this sort of whisked egg motif. Remember in the show at the end, they'd be like, that Miles Mayhem is a bad egg, and Bruce would say, did someone say egg? And then he'd fill the place with all the makings of an omelette. Okay, the Rhino itself. It's cool, it's on the logo, you know. Despite Thunderhawk being the cool one, it's the big beefy boy of the show. The sculpting's great. We've got nice big rubber tyres and it rolls like a dream. We do get stickers with it, which I haven't applied, so let me do that quick. Okay, that was a little bit weird. They don't exactly match the spaces where you're supposed to put them, but who here has never made a mistake? The Rhino looks great, and I'd be up for a Transformers crossover with Optimus Prime. Not the shite movie one though, before you start, Hasbro. No, never let it be said that the Rhino doesn't do a lot of stuff. First, let's get the lads into the driver's seats and the passenger seats, respectively. Mr. Tracker, you are in the passenger seat. I will say these are much easier to get the guys into than the Thunderhawk, or indeed the Condor. That was a joy. Nothing sprang out, nothing went bananas. Obviously, this thing is a little bit loosey-goosey, but we know that does something. I can forgive that. I don't really care that that's loosey-goosey. But overall, this feels super sturdy. Nothing has popped out on me yet. This might be a winner. Get back in there. Okay, so on the back here, you've got two little buttons. 1, 2, 1, 2. You press this first one here, and badoish. Front battering ram comes out at Mach 3. Let's try that out again. Okay, let's try again. We also get these smoke effects you can plop into the top here. There we go, a big reminder that we're all going to be underwater in about 5 years. Another pair of effects here, blast effects, that we can pop into the same stacks. So we stick these in the top, we can pull the smoke stacks down, and suddenly we've got a pair of bitchin' machine guns. Kaboosh, kaboosh, etc. Speaking of guns, it's time to break out the big ones, and we do that by pulling this back end, revealing the command module. Indeed, a break room for teas, coffees, and a big frickin' missile. So a few things to note. One, you roll this down to become this sweet little walkway. You lift this piece up so everyone knows where we work. I really did shit the bed when putting this on. I put it on wonky and ripped a little bit. But I think that adds to the childlike wonder of the set, you know? And of course we have this missile, which is hard to see. There's stickers inside showing off the console. Let me see if I can get a torch in here or something to show this off. Do that with my phone. Yeah, there we go. That's kind of good, isn't it? That's almost like a real YouTube channel. Hold on. Yeah, so in there we've got these stickers that have all these command console details. There's another one in here somewhere. Yeah, there he is. Kind of got a bit of a GoBots headquarters vibe to it with all these sticker controls, but still very nice. The big feature here is, of course, this SATCOM missile. So it's not for killing folks, it's to launch a satellite. Maybe. We flick this little button here, and skadoinkle. It fires out. There he is there. It's quite a hefty missile. Fair's fair. Bit of a grappling hook motif. It's got a pretty strong spring on it. Let's try it again. So things are going well for the M.A.S.K lads, but what happens when they fall out? Maybe one of them needs a bit of time on their own. We just push this button here and... Okay. First thing that's gone wrong, I suppose. Got to hand it to them, that's the first thing that went wrong. Close this. Press this again. Here we go. Skadoish. Yes! Success. Fuck you, Matt Tracker. You're walking, pal. I do love this so much. So much trouble for something so pernickety, but the speed and the strength of that spring is magnificent. You live to fight another day, wee man. So once that happens, is Matt Tracker just left stranded? No. As the back end of the truck, get this, comes off really easily and turns into this to become the Recon Rover. You open up this hatch, plop him in, and we are ready for reconnaissance, baby. It's super inconspicuous. There's some guns at the front. It's got really good suspension. Like it turns like that, you know, and it rolls just as well as the Rhino. It's got a little mirror so we can check his makeup and stuff. It's great. Like, just a nice little... Got the mud flaps. Yeah. Apparently this thing turns around and... Or if it was meant to be that way, I can't remember which way it's meant to be. One of these ways is a satellite thing, and one of the other ways is just a nice, I don't know, spoiler? Or I don't know trucks. Also in the back, there's this little winch. Now, you know me, I love a good winch. But this is, like, there's some sort of, like, watch-style bezel thing that you can turn, and you pull it out a little bit, and it gives it a little bit of give. I can't get this thing to work. And I've seen many a channel say they can't get it to work. Maybe we're all just idiots. I mean, we did all drop a stupid amount of money on this piece of crap. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it. Just going to leave it. No, forget it. Forget it. The Rhino is... it's great. Again, way too expensive, but if you've always fancied one, it does all the stuff. It feels a little bit cheap, but you know, sometimes a spring or two needs a few goes, but I think it's something I could recommend without wincing too hard. The Kai-Hek helicopter though, am I saying that right? How's that going to work out? Less going on with this one. You know, let's less chance to go wrong, maybe. We'll see. The one thing that kind of bugged me, and I get it, but it comes in the jet mode. It comes in its jet mode. I feel like the jet mode is the secret wow factor. You know? Like we should enjoy it becoming a jet rather than putting it back into a helicopter mode first. Not a big deal, but first impressions matter, folks. Remember that for your next job interview. I really do like this, though. It feels good. Similarly light like the others, but sturdy for sure. There's no stickers on it yet. I've got the stickers here. I've liked them all better so far without the stickers, but what kind of thought leader would I be if I didn't put them on? Yeah, you know, I don't like it as much. It's still very charming. The dark navy colour with that pop of pink, it still looks great. But yeah, the stickers, they don't add anything here to me. They don't add any dynamism or any kind of excitement. There's some cool, oh, that clicks in a way that makes me feel that's going to snap. Does that go that way? I guess we'll find out one day. Yeah, we've got some like sticker detail. He's got his little bath mat in there. Got these running across the wings and a venom, a snake on either side as well. It's okay. Doesn't ruin it. Okay, I'm going to fold this back into helicopter mode and then we can go from there. Alright? In fact, let's have a look at the pilot, first of all. Miles Mayhem himself. And yeah, that's him alright. I think his facial expression's more like he's waiting on an answer to what you're doing in his private bathroom, more than an evil, menacing look. But look, he's all fancy with all his medals and that. He's got a little pocket for his BlackBerry. We get his mask. It is the coolest one of the lot. I think we can all agree. There is an elegance to this mask that the others don't really have. Of course, we have this blast effect version as well, with some kind of lime flavouring. I remember in the show someone would say, "You've crossed the line, Mayhem," and he would say, "Did someone say lime?" And then all this lime juice would splash into everyone's gin and tonics, and then the episodes would end. I don't know if that's meant to have a thing here. You know, this has this sort of black strip here. Is that meant to be here? Is mine missing that? Or is that supposed to be like that? There's no way to find out. There's zero way that we can actually know if that's the case. Okay, so the Switchblade. I like it. You know, off the bat, yep, there's a few annoyances with it, but what I've learned is it wouldn't be M.A.S.K without them. We open up that fucking canopy at the front. Oh, to reveal this stylish orange interior. There's some moulded console detail. And as we saw before, we've got the stickers there. So we sit Miles in here. We close the canopy, close it over, and we never have to think about him again. Some chromed out pieces here and there, big fingerprint magnets. Whoa, fuck you. Jesus Christ, that was my fault. Sorry for the blaspheming, folks. So this gun should go in and stay in. But it doesn't want to. You just have to sort of mess about with it until you find the biting point and let it go. But fuck it. Really nice molded detail on the rotors here, much more than the Condor had anyway. Got these orange boosters underneath as well, and I love how sturdy the legs are. Your main... Whoa, fuck off. Shit, every time I do it, you touch this. You can touch this part, and this little laser comes out, and I get a little fright every time. As I say, like the Thunderhawk. There's frights to be had in M.A.S.K if you're being hashy-bashy. So yeah, we press this. The rotor spins. Not for long after you press it, right enough. You gotta work. You better work if you want to make this spin. But it is fun. I like it. It's good. If we want to get into the... Oh shit, that fell off. Gee, I didn't even realise. Would you ever just clip in? To get into the sadly aforeseen jet mode, we're folding in the rotors. Now, if and when they click in and stay there, pull this part up and over, and the wings pop out. Now, that is good. Come on. And each of these will come out too. That one, of course, will never go back in, it seems like. So the idea here is that we take these legs and we pull them up to the here, and these guns should come out. Okay? Yes. I love it when a plan comes together as advertised. And then we're back to the high-tech jet, I guess. Look at him rattling around inside there. You having a great time? I mean, the jet mode isn't a million miles away from the helicopter, but it's still very recognisable, and it's a really fun design. Like the Rhino, we get blast effects and some lovely lilac. And there we go. In pushing this blast effect in, this thing stayed. Fantastic. I don't want it to in this mode. But there's just another example of how this is probably a better review and just showing you how annoying these toys can be rather than talking about them. But still, that's nice, isn't it? There's also this big orange missile which can plop in here. Oh, Gavin, is this not more of a bomb than a missile? Fucking shut up. Anyway, we push this in here. and this fails to deploy. Guaranteed every time, they say. They say it's guaranteed to fail every time. There we go. Only took 13, 14, you can go back and count them, how many times it took for that to drop. But it did, and no one can say that it didn't. The final accessory is this missile for you, a nice post-launch looking blast effect. You can pop that on underneath. It'll be a nice effect for display, at least. I'm into this one, folks. The Switchblade suffers from the same problems, feels less premium. I can't recommend it at full price, but that speaks for both of these toys, all of them in fact. That doesn't mean they're not fun, and I'm not at least curious to see what the next wave is like. I know they've just announced which ones are coming. I'll probably get the Gator, and nothing else. Which, yeah, is pretty nice of me, I suppose. Your old man Gavin, still optimistic after all this time. One of the best YouTubers. I think we can all agree on that. Yes, first time. What a great toy line. Bye.